As each Chinese New Year rolls around and the traditional return to spend the festive period with the family approaches, many single young Chinese people face a dilemma: how to explain to anxious parents why they haven't got a boy or girlfriend. Despite the fact that there are substantially more men than women in China, there is particular pressure on young women who in traditional Chinese eyes are seen as a bit long in the tooth for marriage even by their late 20s. Now, the nagging from parents worried that their daughters may become shangnu, or left behind women as they're called, can be relentless. So to avoid non-stop questions from relatives, some women avail of a relatively new online business that has sprung up to fill this niche: boyfriends for rent. On China's largest online shopping mall, Taobao offers to play the boyfriend for a fee abound coming up to the new year. These companies offer some or all of the following services: accompanying the women during their visit to friends and relatives, going shopping, having meals with them, taking them to the cinema, and even the odd courtesy kiss to add realism to the ploy. But all are charged by the hour or by the day. So how is this new business model going down with potential customers, and just how much pressure do Chinese single women get from the parents to turn up with Mr. Right? To hear opinions from the online community, let's join our researcher Esther Dung in the newsroom. First off, Esther, can you give us a few more details about this business, how popular it's proving, and what net users' reactions have been to it?
Well, actually, when I type in boyfriend for rent on Taobao.com, there are 21 pages of information and offers. And the prices can range from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars a day. And as you've said, basically they charge fees on an hourly basis. For example, $4 per hour for watching a film and $8 per hour for having dinner. And of course, the women have to pay for the tickets for the dinner in the first place. As to the sites themselves, plenty post the pictures of the men for hire, although many others only put up cartoon avatars. But most of them do provide information about the man's height, weight, age, and educational background. And quite a few of the offers state specific requirements. One which I find interesting is that while some refuse to go as far as sharing a bed with their client, others are glad to provide a free sleeping in the same bed service. But based on the comments I've seen, the majority of users don't really take the business very seriously. Lots of posters make jokes like Yang Ning Yu Yi on sh.cn. Seeing some of the pictures boosted my confidence. I'm better looking than any of them, so I can rent myself out at a higher price. Zi Shen de Cao Gen says, how do these ugly guys have the nerve to ask for a fee of $140? Where is the Bureau of Price Control? And of those who do take it seriously, many oppose it on safety and legal grounds. This anonymous poster on mob.com is a typical one. People should be careful when making friends. Renting a boyfriend is irresponsible for both themselves and their parents. Love is a beautiful thing and shouldn't be profaned by commercializing it. And Liao Hua, a lawyer, said in the Xi'an Evening News, human beings aren't goods that can be sold or rented. In this business, neither the seller nor the buyer is acting legally, and any so-called contract of rent is invalid.
Okay, but whatever its success, this business is a direct result of that traditional view of when women should marry, resulting in that phenomenon we mentioned of the so-called leftover women, these relatively young women who face this huge social and family pressure to get married. Tell me what's being said about that.
Well, actually, not only women and single men also come under a lot of the same pressure. The difference is that the Chinese parents especially worry about unmarried daughters. This has to do with traditional ideas about marriage and family. For these parents, the most important thing for a daughter, her duty, if you like, is to marry and have her own family, certainly by 30. But in recent years, for a variety of reasons, more and more women are remaining single after this age. Lots of posters just want to be left alone. First, listen to 布丁主义 on hxyl.net. I'm 27 years old and I'm enjoying my single life. But my parents are so anxious to find me a boyfriend. I don't want this, but I can't just ignore their wishes. And this poster on gxnews.com.cn is unhappy as well. Being single isn't horrible. What is horrible is those who want you not to be single. And then we have Luo Feiyu on CNTV.cn. When we were in school, parents and teachers tried every means to stop us from falling in love. Now, just shortly after we graduate, they want us to rush into the tomb of marriage at top speed. How ridiculous. Well, Lu Qi on the same side has this plea for romance. All our parents care about is that we get married, but what we care about is true love. And finally, Shou placed some of the blame on China's family planning rules. It's the one-child policy that has resulted in all this anxiety for both generations, parents in their 50s or 60s and kids in their 30s. The generation gap between them isn't 3 decades, it's more like 10 decades. I have to say, China has changed so much over the past 30 years.
Okay, Esther. Now, as that poster points out, today's young people are certainly very different from their parents and their outlook, many of whose marriages were even decided by their parents. Today there's more independence, so how do people online feel they should deal with the pressure from their parents?
Oh yeah, quite a few, and some actually based on personal experiences. First, some posts think the best tactic is to simply ignore whatever the parents say. Like, 我为你执着, who says, my parents try their best to talk me into getting married. I just turn a deaf ear to them. While a poster on 163.com has more devious solutions. Buy yourself a ring and make them believe you are not single, or bribe a fortune teller to tell your parents that you are not suited to marry at an early age. But for the majority of net users, mutual understanding and respect between parents and kids is the most important. And this comment is from 163.com. Attitudes towards marriage change as time goes on. Parents shouldn't impose their understanding of marriage on their kids. After all, if their kids marry simply to keep their parents happy, then how long can they expect this kind of marriage to last? And I'd like to finish up with the comment from Wu Dida. Young people should understand their parents. After all, for lots of Chinese parents, their only children are the most important thing in their lives. It's natural for them to be anxious over their marriage plans. But that doesn't mean the young people should do whatever their parents want. After all, marriage is about their own happiness. It's not just a way to show their respect for their parents.
Okay, thanks for that, Esther. And that was China Take researcher Esther Dung with online views on this rent-a-boyfriend service that crops up at this time of year and the reasons behind it, a service no doubt that she doesn't need. Next here on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines. Let's see what's got Chinese net users curious these days.